I see you guys dressed up as college students.
I was an emoji today. I just took off my yellow shirt because it was been worn for 2 days now. So, all right. So we're going to review the summary data from the negotiation results. Which team had the highest pre-money value?
Yeah, we can't do that because we didn't have a simulation.
Okay,
I think
good,
Becky's
because
team
I was really trying hard, and I thought maybe this was something we could do.
Nope.
But
There
yeah.
were no teams, there were no simulations, there were no negotiated prices.
So is number one not on the table at all tonight?
Most of the questions are not unless you adapt them.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens here. But let's see if I come up. Maybe my answers are good. From the DuPage V side, what were they called? DuPage
DPV.
DuPage Ventures, which is funded out of Illinois. DuPage is actually a county in Illinois. It's what were our goals? So just basically the way I looked at these questions is what was the valuation that DuPage gave?
They didn't give its valuation yet.
Correct.
But
That's what I got. There was nothing.
Yeah, but we can look at it and read the question as what were their goals, right? What would be DPV's goals in the negotiation? We already know one. They already talked about who they'd want from their side on the board. So I mean, there's some things we can talk about. If we were DPV, what would we want?
Hi, I'm back.
Oh, you went away.
Yeah, I did.
So I did for the value. Let's see, for my valuation, I kind of looked at it as if they were going to give them 2.5. Well, they needed 2.5 to get them to break even. So if they got that, but they were hoping that they could reach $50 million within 5 to 7 years.
Well, but did you look at the valuations from the other two that they got that was in that attachment? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so but if I look at DuPage and they wanted 50 million in revenues as their return, then to me it would make sense that their valuation would be about $5 million. $4 to $5 million. Because as I researched out how to value a company, it says you have to look at the end result, which is about 10 times of what they invest. Okay. So I would assume that DuPage valued them as about a $5 million company.
Which is going to be lower than what they're wanting.
Exactly. So, but that's just what I got for that.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
So,
where did you see what they wanted for revenues? I didn't.
Well, so on page 4 of the original case study, it said that, it said that successful companies could reach revenues of 50 million or more within 5 to 7 years.
So those are the companies they usually invest in.
Exactly.
Okay, so you that and applying that to.
Exactly. That's how I figured that.
That's
what they were looking for.
That makes sense.
So I thought, well, look at me, yay! So then looking at the IRR of the company, it said that 6 months had averaged a 25% pre-tax IRR. So it looks like they were pretty successful. And so I would think that that's what they would probably do the same for this company, is to have an average of 25%. Just from the information that we're given.
Yeah, no.
They seem to have a steady thing of what they invest in.
Yeah, I hadn't thought to look at what they usually do for other companies and apply that. So that's great insight.
Oh, thanks, Becky. You know how many times I've read and reread this case? And then the board seats, it does show that. Let's see, if you guys want to shout it out, you can, but I can look through my notes here.
Wait, what did you say? Oh, the board seat. Well, I saw what I thought for the board was they said they wanted Rodriguez to serve as DPV's rep on the board, and then observer rights for Cantor. So I thought, well, if they're doing that, maybe they would do the same thing for Mumate and let Taylor be on the board and let Maxwell have a non-voting observer role on the board.
Yes, I saw. Yeah, I see that. That's where I marked it there. So, looking at that, looking at that, we can say, how important is this deal to DPV?
I don't
think
think
it's a lifetime deal, a once in a lifetime deal.
they have so many other people that they could invest in. So yeah, it'd be a great deal for them, but if they don't get it, they'll find somebody else.
Right. So I said it was, I chose a pretty good deal. I mean, to me, that's very vague. Isn't it? It should have been a good deal, a not so good deal, but the three choices we have, really. So I chose pretty good. It was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it wasn't one they should pass on, but if it didn't work out, I don't think it bothered them.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll waste too much time in negotiations. I think they'll say, hey, this is what we'll do. Take it or leave it.
Exactly. That's the way I saw it too. So as DPV, it says, does Mumate fit our investment focus? Well, yeah, it does.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if it didn't, they wouldn't even be considering them.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to add, Haley?
No, my internet's like, I can't understand 2/3 of what Michelle's saying, so I'm picking up what Becky's saying, but it's about it.
Yeah, Michelle's kind of robot-y, but I get it.
What'd you say?
Michelle kind of sounds like a robot.
Oh, well, the fact that my internet's being stupid as well isn't helping.
Yeah.
I'll try and talk.
Becca and I came in partway through, so where are we at?
We
Number
just
3.
discussed number 4 on the questions where it says choose a student from the DPV side. We just went through those bullet points.
And now the time I didn't understand Becky.
Oh, so your internet's really not doing good then.
No, it's not. Not gonna go well. I changed which device I was locating, but it didn't help. Usually if I pick up my stronger sit on it. Okay, continue on and I'll where we're at.
Okay.
I'm going to bring my camera a little closer. Maybe that will help. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're just like a little gritty. Like there's just feedback as you're talking. It's weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. The co-founders, how do they see things in the same way, or were you focused on other interests, which basically, now we're looking from the Mumate side.
Yeah.
So in my order of importance,
Oh, I gotta pull my.
what did you choose for number 1? How about we go through that?
Let me pull it up.
Okay.
I put. It seemed to me that their 2 most important things were the valuation and the board composition.
Yes. So.
And I didn't think the deal terms and option pool were as important to them.
Yes, that's what I put for them, that this was more on the other side, and then the pre-money value, that was the most important 1 and 2. 1 being valuation, 2 was the board composition.
Yeah.
And then, can you hear me, Haley?
Haley.
Hi.
Ask.
I just said, what did you think, Haley, on that?
I thought, the valuation and the board composition was their most important as well. I didn't really rank the rest of them yet, but that's where I was.
Okay.
At least from what I remember from the case.
Yeah, they didn't really talk about the option pool or deal. I mean, they showed them, but they really seemed like they cared about it.
Right. And then it says, how do differing priorities affect this type of negotiation? Well, I think it has a lot to affects it a lot. If you can't come to an agreement, or first of all, how much you think your company's worth. Have they not watched Shark Tank?
Yeah, that's a problem.
So I think that's
why.
why.
About Shark Tank, but
Well, if you're not to where you think it's at, you kind of shut down.
Yeah.
camping. And then the board, once again, if you're giving up, as Mike always likes to say, ownership, then once again, it's kind of non-negotiable in that. But I think the terms and option pool are always negotiable, so I don't think that that's too much of importance, but I think it affects it a lot. I think if they, those top two for them, but then on the other side, oh, hello, cat. A black cat on Halloween.
Black cat every day.
So I think that because their priorities, when they differ, then negotiations can be very rough.
Yeah, and I like, it says who has the upper hand. I think DPV definitely has the upper hand. Because Mumate didn't like the other two offers, so if they don't get what they want from DPV, they've really got to look at a totally different way of doing it.
Right, I do agree. I circled that on mine too. Any comments on that, Haley?
I just switched internet so I missed what you said. This internet seems to be working better because I can actually hear you.
Oh, good.
We were just going to say, who do you think has the upper hand, DuPage or Mumate?
I think Mumate. That's how you say it.
I say it all different every time I read the different scenario to make it more fun.
Every time I see it, I think of Star Wars. It sounds like that scene in Star Wars. So, it's like Star Wars.
I was calling it Mumate. Is it not Mumate? Mumate?
Mumate. And Mumate, and then I can't do the Star Wars voices. I don't do voices, but that's what's going in my head.
So why do you think that they have the upper hand, Haley?
Just because they have other deals coming in. Is that what we're talking about? Is like with negotiating with V or whatever it is? Just because they have other deals to go with, and
but they don't like the other deals.
I think that DuPage doesn't know that.
They don't even know they have other deals.
Okay, well, they can use that as leverage. Well, you know what? We have other possibilities here. So if you really want us, you're gonna agree with what we want. So there, that's why.
That's a good point.
They did tell them that they have what term did they use? Where'd my case go?
They were looking at all sorts of funding options.
Yes. So
she was vague.
They do have leverage in that, I think, as well.
But do you think they really have the upper hand in the negotiation? I mean, DPV can walk away if they want to.
So can Mumate.
If Mumate walks away, they don't have anything to go back on. Then they just don't have the funding because they don't like the other two deals.
Like I say, DuPage doesn't need to know that.
Okay.
Oh, much better. Okay.
I guess that could be the same effect as what we were talking about. What was it last week about? He was bluffing about. I guess then we can't come to an agreement. And that was that. And it could cost him, but I just think that they have enough leverage to have at least. I don't know. Maybe not a complete upper hand, but
well, and I think too,
maybe an upper finger.
A few things from the simulation. I don't think there's really a correct answer for us.
True.
Yeah.
Different opinions.
You know, because we each see things from a different point of view. And if we went through the class simulation like the live class would have done, I mean, we might have saw things differently.
Yeah.
I think we should have had a group class meeting to be able to do this. That would have been helpful.
Something. I mean, rewrite the questions for the online version.
Yeah.
Right. Very interesting. Okay. How did the Astoria and Prosper term sheet affect your negotiation strategy?
Well, that's like what Haley was just talking about. Like, you don't have to tell them that you don't like those terms. Like, one of them gave them really high value, so they can just say, oh, well, we've got a deal that has this value. Do you want to meet that? And one of them was going to let them both be on the board, so they can say, oh, well, we have an offer where we're both on the board.
Right.
So, kind of like Haley was saying, they don't have to tell them they don't like the rest of it, and they don't have to tell them how many deals they have.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a need-to-know basis?
A need to know. I like that. A need to know basis. You're right. What are the pros and cons of Astoria, Prosper, and seeking capital from angels? So there was a lot not a lot, but a few that stuck out to me. We've talked a lot about them already.
I think the thing with getting capital from angels is it allows them to keep entire ownership.
That's what I have, ownership.
They don't have to value their company right now when it's so much up in the air. They can just get the investors and build because they're so small right now. And I was thinking about what we talked about a few weeks ago with that funding where the first people come in and then the company's valued much later. I forget what that was called.
Yeah.
It's called the, I know, I have that, I came across that, something else that I was reading. And they referred to it as that.
Yeah, I was thinking that might be a better place for them right now because they are small and starting to grow. That they could do that, and then they wouldn't have to worry about giving up ownership or not getting the value they want. So the bad part about that is it is going to take a lot of work. They've got to really get out there and talk to people and find those. What?
Is it convertible debt? Huh? Sorry, I interrupted. It's convertible debt.
Convertible debt. That's it. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's a pro and con of that one. Going with a VC, they get the money right now. It's faster, it's easier, but they may not get the terms they want.
Right. Well, and for me, a con would be is they really need money so they can start trying to hit their break even. They need the capital.
Yeah, and they've got those partners that are ready to work with them and want to and are super interested. So they need money pretty quickly. Yeah.
So that for me was, I put that as a con, that is they kind of really need the money, but they shouldn't make a deal because they're desperate.
Exactly.
So.
And then those two companies, I mean, we've already talked about, right? The one valued them high, but was basically kicking them out of the board and out of the company. The other valued them lower, but would let them stay on. So.
Right. And I was trying to find, I think I found, I don't know if my numbers are right, but I just was doing some research. So in the Astoria Partners, in the end, they would only have 51% ownership in the end.
And would likely be kicked out.
Exactly. But in the Prosper funds, they would only have 38% ownership. So they would have lost that very quickly.
Really? With Prosper?
Yeah.
I thought Prosper gave them more control.
When it came down to the founder share vesting and the option pool, it came down to they lost ownership much quicker.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't do that math.
And that's if I did my numbers right.
Huh.
Do you have that somewhere you can send us, Michelle?
Huh?
You have that somewhere you can send us? Because I didn't do that.
I don't. It looks like this all over my paper.
Nice.
Okay.
I have no idea. I tried to write like this and equals, and then I had called someone that I knew that he's a CFO, and he's like, well, you just do this. I'm like, okay. Am I close? He goes, yeah. He goes, you're fairly close. But I don't really need the answer. I just need to know if I'm doing this right. So, but he said
the
that.
Thing is, with Prosper, they might lose percentage of ownership, but they would still actually retain control of the company.
Correct. And then he also said it was because the reason that they lost it was that even though it looks like on the investor share, that on the founder share vesting, he tried to explain that even though it was only 25% on closing, that 36 months, it may look like you're stretching it out longer. He said, but actually you're just losing ownership faster.
Wow.
He said it's like the opposite. So we'll see. We'll see if that is true. So, but this was a tough one. Okay. So any more pros and cons? Do you have anything to add, Haley? I didn't like all the key provisions from Astoria.
Yeah, they had a lot of provisions where they didn't have to pay the second half if they didn't hit certain.
Yeah, that's what
that was a big risk.
Read from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I kind of just stopped reading at that point, and I'm like, okay, moving on.
Yeah, and I think that the reputation of both of them, I think that you know, they each have their pros and cons there too, but, you know, it comes down to, you know, sometimes you might be the company that makes them successful and their reputation changes. But it doesn't look like they've had bad investments.
No, it just doesn't look like Mumate exactly fits what they've been doing, and I just feel like neither of the offers are really worth considering. For me, I think it'd be better for them to go with Angels rather than these two offers.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, is just going with Angels. That had so many benefits over, you know, everything else.
Yeah.
Unless they can get a good offer from DPV, but that's going to take some tough negotiating.
Didn't even care what offer came from DPV. I still thought
Angels?
they get to keep, you know, 100% ownership, and they get their money.
Eventually. It's just a lot longer process and a lot more work.
A lot more work. They wouldn't be able to hire people right away because they really needed that. They need that capital to keep going.
They'd have to grow more slowly than they want to. They'd have to pick one of those partners to work with now and maybe the other one a year from now or something.
Sometimes growing slower is a whole lot better, though, because if they take on too much too quick, it could end up really, you know, harming their whole business plan, and they could end up throwing it all away.
No, that's a good point.
That is true, because sometimes you hit that high and then you're like, now what? And then all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, they're, you know, working so hard to expand so quickly as well, and then they just burn themselves out, and then they've lost energy for, you know, to keep up that momentum, and they just plummet.
Yeah,
that's a good point. All right, how did the venture capitalists go about valuing Mumate?
Well, we kind of talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so the first one was, well, I'm not sure if we're supposed to go about valuing, but what exit value were they expecting? And I think it goes back to that paragraph that under the assumption is their exit would be they needed to make $50 million within 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they were expecting from them if they were to invest.
That seems
so.
Did we ask
from that exit value
here?
Huh?
That was the 50,000 or 50 million or whatever it is they're asking. They're trying to make.
Like what they expect from their companies they invest in.
Mm-hmm.
There was no figure given. It was just more of an assumption that I had made.
I think that's the only place we're going to find any information to answer that question. So I think that's a good assumption.
Yeah. So with that said, it said from that exit value, how much money did they need to receive in order to get 5 times to 10 times on their investment? So to get 5 times on their investment,
well, that's pretty much what it is. If they're investing $10 million to get 5 times, they want $50 million, right? So that's roughly.
That's what I got. I was trying to explain how I figured it out, but I can't. But that's okay because we came to the same number.
Yeah.
So they would need a lot more than what they were willing to put in. Well, they need to ask for more. Even though they only said they needed the 2.5 just to break even, they would need a lot more investment than that.
Hey, Mike's back.
They even need more than what Astoria. Well, no, Astoria would offer them 7.5. So would they be good?
No.
On the other two, wouldn't Prosper be out then because Prosper was only going to be 7.5 after their initial funding and then what they're putting in.
Don't they just want that return on what they're putting in though? And Prosper is putting in $3 million, right?
Prosper is putting in. I thought that what the pre is, the second number is what they put in.
No, I think the pre is what they're valuing the company at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the amount that they put in is equal to the percent ownership.
Right. So we were just on question 5, Mike. From our exit value, which we're assuming is $50 million of what they want from the company within 4 to 5 years, how much money do they need to receive in order to get 5 to 10 times on their investment?
What question is that? Oh, that's
Number 7 in the instructions, but it's actually the 5th question.
yeah.
So
what was the exit value?
well, we assumed it was 50 million from the paragraph on page 4, because DPV invests, and they expect to invest 3 to 10 million in successful companies that could reach revenues of 50 million or more. So we're just under the assumption that that's what they would expect from this company also.
That's 50?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then obviously it would be between 3 to 10 million also, because the answer, we could make that assumption also on that. So this was a little tricky. Because then we have to say what share of the equity would that dollar amount equal?
And I honestly kind of skipped over that question because I hadn't made that connection that you made, Michelle, on the bottom of page 4 with that paragraph.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wait, they don't have a value.
No. And it says in a Series A round, their equity stake average is be 20 to 30%. So wouldn't that be what share of the equity would that dollar? It would depend on how much they invested.
Yeah.
No real answer. So. Any thoughts from the other two? Haley, Kitty Cat Girl, and Mike?
No, I'm gonna have to watch the video, find out what you're talking about.
That's all right. We have done no math, no spreadsheets. We're making assumptions pretty much on the whole case.
You know, Michelle and I agree, so it's been a pretty
That's right.
Without you, Mike.
There's not been a lot of controversy.
Well, I was going to say, I was just going to come in and say I disagree with you guys.
All right. We would get another guy, and then maybe he'd agree with you. You wouldn't feel so beat up on.
Right. So then we can't really answer the other one. What other means did the VC use to value the company? Share your spreadsheets and talk us through them, because
no.
we don't have them. All right. So what have we learned about bargaining tactics? Should Mumate disclose that they have other offers? I like what Haley said. It's an as needs to know basis of the other.
Yeah.
Oh, I think if they're going to negotiate with DVP, they need to let them know that they do have other offers, but just not what they are.
Well, that's what we said.
What
We
I
said
was
with the low valuation, say, hey, we've got this offer that's a higher valuation. Not
Right.
showing that it's
Yeah,
not.
not letting them know that they don't necessarily like them, but giving them a little bit of an upper hand because they have other offers, and it might give them better negotiating, power with DPV. Just saying, well, this is what I have with this firm. This is, just tell them the good things about what they like. So you should give me this. Otherwise, I'm going to go with them.
Yeah.
So I think they should disclose somewhat.
Yeah, you only get one chance at this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do hardball tactics make sense in a negotiation like this? Well, I think it depends on exactly what is it that you have to know exactly what you want. Otherwise, you could lose the deal. It was like we discussed with the last case. You may walk away and you may have lost your chance, and people move on.
It's exactly what I was saying. Is
I think hardball is necessary in any type of negotiation, but you have to know exactly what you want.
And what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to walk away.
That's a good point. Isn't there something in one of the classes, business classes we've all taken? Isn't there something? It's called something.
What, for negotiating?
Yeah. I don't think it was this class. With the hockey player and the unions?
Oh yeah, the hockey union.
You remember that, the hockey union?
Yeah.
That long strike.
Yeah. So isn't there something we talked about in that class about going in and knowing what your high is and what your low is, and trying to find that median in between?
Yeah, what was that terminology? That was really good.
I'm so glad we've all taken that class and understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what class that is. I don't recall it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up and remember because that was really good terminology.
Yeah. But I think that
Do you know what that class was?
what class was it? Oh my gosh.
There's another case study class. I don't remember which one. There's so many of them.
Yeah, I honestly, Haley, couldn't tell you.
I don't recall it, so I don't know if I've even taken that class.
Oh man.
My
Too bad.
memory is not in here, so.
So I think that's where, you have to know, like I said, you have to know what you want, and then Becky says you have to know what you're willing to sacrifice. And so hardball, I think, is necessary in almost every negotiation.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful.
That doesn't matter to you.
I don't know how you play hardball, but I wouldn't be. I mean, I think it's right what you say. You know that you need to go in knowing what you want and knowing what you'll take, but I don't think you need to play hardball. Now, especially with these people because they're the DVPs are good. They're the best management company of the three.
So maybe we need to define what we mean by hardball.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all do hardball differently.
Yeah. Because I'm not saying go in and be a snot about it. I'm just saying go in and be like, hey, this is what I need. This is what I want. Here's what I'm aiming for. And not kind of let people walk all over you and push you around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
no, I agree with that.
Yeah, go in knowing what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I agree with that.
If they're not going to offer you what you want, then yeah, exactly. Becky says don't let them walk all over you.
Yeah, but you can't get an attitude. Not with a VC company. They'll just say,
No.
okay, well, we're not going to do business with you.
No, but they might respect you know what you want and that you aren't going to be walked all over, and they may cave somewhat because they know that, okay, this person is going to have a backbone and stand up for themselves and not let other, clients or, their deals walk all over them.
No, I agree. I think it's not a movie. It's not like a movie hardball.
No.
And, my whole approach, I mean, because we didn't get any of DVP's information, right?
Right.
Right. So my whole approach when I saw the two other offers was if I was either DVP or the owners, I forget their names. Moomate or whatever it is. The Moomate people. I know I'm saying that wrong. But if I would just look at the two offers, and what I did was I just came up with we're somewhere in between those two offers that's going to be good for me and hopefully good for DVP, and that's what I would present to DVP. Somewhere in between the two offers. That's what I think. That would have been my negotiating approach.
Well, we talked a little bit about that too, and it had to be a lot of it. You'd be proud of us, Mike. A lot of it would have to do with ownership. And in the end, after the whole time was done, how much would we actually own? How much would have been diluted?
Yes, yeah.
See, we've been learning from you.
Oh, okay. Well, you have to learn my position so that you can disagree with it.
That's true.
I was all for the Angels and keeping 100% ownership because I don't want to give up my ownership. It's all mine.
Right. We've decided too that the company that it was just kind of small right now. Maybe going into venture capitalism isn't the right choice for them because they aren't as big as they should be, and they need to grow a little bit.
And they're doing well on their own. I mean, they've done well just without VC capital.
Yeah.
We were talking about maybe convertible debt.
Oh yeah, they talked about debt, but they didn't talk about convertible debt, did they?
No, they didn't mention.
Did they mention all of what the other offers? Because they did say they are discussing, other offers. Could we assume that could be one of them.
It didn't sound like it.
That would be a good option because, I mean, the others had some disadvantages. The lending thing had higher risk.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because they said, well, first of all, they said the banks wouldn't do it, and then they said that if they went with the what was that?
Asset-based something or other.
Yeah, that there was a danger where if they ever faltered on any payment or anything, they'd be liquidated, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I do remember that.
I read that paragraph like 6 times. I kept being interrupted.
So, okay. Discuss key takeaways. Terms allocate economic and control rights. I'm not sure, like.
I don't know what it's saying there.
Okay, good, because I wasn't sure what I read. I'm like, so was there like a word I was supposed to look?
Okay, where are you now?
At the very bottom, discuss key takeaways.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a term,
okay.
economic.
Terms.
Currently.
So maybe the question should be, do terms allocate, no.
I think it's
yeah.
terms allocate economic and control rights.
There we go.
See, I need to talk this one out loud to someone else besides myself. Well, yeah, terms do allocate economic and control rights. Yes.
Yes. We agree.
Okay, here goes our other one. I don't think we can answer this one because we didn't have scenarios. Conflicting priorities of investors and entrepreneurs in upside and downside scenarios. But I think that we kind of talked about that, how they have to know what they need to know what they want.
And what they want isn't what the VC firms want.
Exactly. I mean, we talked about the priority of the importance that they had is different from what the other people had.
Yeah.
Like their things of importance were different from their others' importance. So
the owners wanted, first of all, she didn't want to be replaced as CEO.
Right.
And then she thought Taylor should be part of the board of directors because it was her invention and she wanted quality control.
Yeah, she didn't want their ingredients to be downsized to make a poorer quality product.
Right.
So I'm not really sure what the question is on that last one, but I think we talked about those things.
Yep, I think we did.
Yeah. So, in summary, hold on. I got my timer going.
Okay, here's a summary paper.
Okay, hold on. And Olivia's gonna do it. Come on, timer.
Summary.
There you go.
3812. Okay.
Here's the
In
break.
summary, we think that going with angel investors is a good option for them. That maybe they need to wait on the venture capitalists. Is this correct?
I think doing convertible debt's their best option. Not that that was an option we were given.
No, we were not.
But that's
Okay, so
But they were just too small to get involved with the venture capitalists right now. They just need to grow their company, as Haley said, maybe at a slower pace is good before they hit their peak and burn themselves out.
don't bite off more than you can chew.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
What do you think, Mike?
I agree.
What?
I agree.
Really?
Ladies, we win.
we win with that argument from Mike tonight.
Yeah. I'd have more of an arguing position if I was able to be here the first 20 minutes. But yeah, sorry about that. But
That's okay.
ran out of bodies here.
And we also talked about DPV and the deal that it was not a once in a lifetime. It was a good deal, but if it didn't work out, they have other fish in the sea.
Yep.
So they're not losing out on anything. And there are probably other people that once they grow will have even more interest in them.
I think so.
Well, if they already had other VC firms contacting them, essentially, why won't they have that in the future?
Exactly. So I think that as they grow, their options are just they're going to be more out there, and they might be able to negotiate better. They might get what they want.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
one case for the evening.
They probably wouldn't get 2.5 million though, but they could get 1.5 million or something, I guess.
Yeah.
With the from the
Spread
Angel.
it out over more times. Well, didn't it say something about that, getting it in more than one
Yeah. Starting with
round or whatever, and
5 million.
Yeah.
what was that, Becky?
Yeah, just like what you're saying, just starting smaller, like Mike said, with 1.5 million. Just
start with the 1.5 million and sign with one of their
one of those partners.
So
3.
Yeah.
Determining which one's their best option and going from there.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I think too, we didn't talk about it, but the market that they're targeting, it could change.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting that they did the percentages on the yoga people.
What did you say? You thought it was
I
interesting?
thought the yoga studios, that was one of the things we had to look at. And I'm like, well, that's weird. But the U.S. population that practiced yoga, because they did say they targeted to the yoga people, because she went to go to the yogi. So I thought that was interesting. But that target market could change too, which could also, so many possibilities if they just were to wait.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes we do look at it in terms of, is it about the money or is it about what you love doing and waiting? So,
has anyone tried this product?
Your treat.
I've never even heard of it.
It exists. I think this is a fictional case because I tried to look it up.
Really?
Yeah, and it said that it was a fictional case.
Oh yeah, it says the company mentioned this case is fictional.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought
At the
it
bottom
was.
of the first page.
I was going to start looking for them in the stores.
Oh, that's probably never heard of it.
Yeah.
We should always read the fine print.
Oh. Okay.